how many decades? I'm now back. Now, for today's vlog, I am going to tackle to you direct variation. Actually, there are four types of variation, namely the direct variation, the inverse variation, joint variation, and lastly is the combined variation. But today, I am just going to focus more on direct variation. Now, under direct variation, we'll be talking about this writing equations, finding the constant of variation, finding the equation of variation, and finding the unknown of variation. So again, as what I've said earlier, there are four types of variation: direct, inverse, joint, and combined. Now, direct variation. There is a direct variation whenever a situation produces pairs of numbers in which the ratio is constant. The statements y varies directly as x, this one is what you had noticed, we used two variables. If we say variables, these are represented by a letter. So y is proportional to x is also an example of direct variation, and it may be translated mathematically as y equals kx, where k is the constant of variation. Now, if you see the word y varies directly as x, it is written in this mathematical. You're just going to copy the first letter y varies directly, you're going to write immediately after the first variable equals k, where k is a constant, then the second letter x. So that's why you have y equals kx. For two quantities x and y, an increase in x causes an increase in y as well. Similarly, a decrease in x causes a decrease in y. So in direct variation, if the if one of the variable increases, the other one will also increase. The value of the other one will also increase. As well as if it will decrease, ang usa mo decrease po. So I have here a real life scenario nga ato ang ma-relate sa direct variation. A motorist drives along the highway at a constant speed. It is represented, or yes, it is represented by a direct variation because if a motorist will drive along the highway, of course, kung mupaspas siya padagan, mutaas ang distance nga iyahang gidaganan. Pero kung magpahinay siya og padagan, of course, duol ra siya. Dili siya moadto sa dayo. Second, the cost of chicken and its weight. It is also a direct variation because the cost of chicken, mahal siya kung bukat ang chicken. But if it's gaan, of course, barato ang presyo sa manok. Third, the income of a worker and the number of hours he works. So, ang income sa usa ka worker magdepende sa oras nga iyang gitrabaho. So now, gamay siya og income, gamay siya og sweldo kung pila lang siya ka oras ni trabaho, pero dako siya og sweldo if ever taas-taas siya og oras nga gitrabaho. So those are the different examples, real life examples of direct variations. Now let us proceed to writing equations. Number one, the fare f of a passenger varies directly as the distance d of his destination. As what you'd notice, we use the variable f and the variable d. As what I had said earlier, in writing the equation, you are going to write first the first variable na gimension, and that is f. Right after, since it is stated varies directly, after the first letter, you are going to immediately write equals k. Then the second variable is d. So that's why we have f equals kd. The first variable and the second variable Then this one, automatic na ni si equals K. Next, water pressure P varies directly as the height h of the water, and it is written as this one. P equals KH. Our first variable P and our second variable H. And C equals K is constant. Next, the perimeter P of a square varies directly as its side. So that is P equals KS. I hope you understand and how you're going to write equations given a direct variation. Now let's proceed. So let us now proceed to finding the constant variation and equation of variation. So now, here's our first problem. Find k or find the constant if y varies directly as x and y equals 24 when x equals 3. Now, if your goal is to find the constant variation or the value of k and its equation, the first step we're going to do is to identify the given. And our given is obviously y equals 24 and x equals 3. Ang atong gipangita is the constant. After identifying the given is that we are going to identify also the equation. This one, you're going to write this one to its mathematical equation. To its equation, this mathematical statement, you're going to write it in its equation. So y varies directly as x is written as y equals kx. Afterwards, you're going to substitute. The value of a y is 24. The value of k is unknown. That is 24. Si k unknown. And the value of your x is 3. After substituting is you are going to simplify what is inside the parentheses, and k times 3 is 3k. Now, take note, in multiplying a variable in a number, kinahanglan isuwat jud una si number. So that's why it's 3k. After which, for you to isolate the variable, which is a constant, you are going to divide both sides by the numerical coefficient para ma-cancel si number. So divide both sides by 3. Cancel 3 because 3 divided 3 is 1. And 1k, if you're going to write 1k, 1 there is should be invisible. So the answer is 24 divided 3, that is 8. So meaning our constant is 8. And the equation of variation is y equals 8x. Ma'am, asa gikan si y equals 8x. Nara siya gikan diri sa ato ang equation ug ato rang substitutan si value ni k, which is 8. That's it. Next, finding the unknown variables. If a varies directly as b and a equals 15 when b equals 20, find a when b equals 32. Now, what had you noticed? Try to compare this one to our first example. So, see, number 2 example is more complicated than number 1. Kay si number 2, daghan ta or duha ang atoang variable. First nga gipangita is the constant. The next nga gipangita is the value of a. So we have two sets of given. First set, a is 15, this one. Next, b is 20. So these are our first set. And ang ato ang gipangita is the constant. For the second set, our a is unknown. And the value of b is 32. Now let's first solve for the first set, the value of k. So in solving, again, we are going to write or identify the formula of A varies directly as B and it is written as A equals KB. Afterwards, we are going to substitute the values of the variables. We're going to substitute the value of the variable. So the value of A is 15. The value of K is unknown and the value of B is 20. Afterwards, we are going to simplify what is written inside the parentheses, and K equals 20 is 20K. Afterwards, we need to isolate the value of K, divide both sides by 20, cancel, and 15 over 20, we're going to reduce it to its simplest form, that is equal to 3/4. Now let's proceed to the second one. By the way, our constant variation is 3/4, and the equation of variation is A equals, let us hit 3/4, then copy C, B. So that's why nahimo siyang A equals 3B over 4. Then this one, we're going to use this one sa ato ang second set of solution. Then we are going to substitute. The value of A sa ato ang second set is unknown, and the value of B is 32. Then simplify what is inside the parentheses. That is 3 times 32, and that is 3 times 32, that is 9, 96, and 96 divided 4 is 24. So the value of your A is 24. I hope you understand our topic for today. And if you have questions, just comment down below and ask me kung asa mo naglibog. So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel para guided mo kung usay sunod na itong topic. I guess that would be all for today. Again, this is Marnie Amatijos and Teacher Andang Macban. Thank you and have a great day.
Yeah.